Well, I think for most of us, Christmas is gonna look a little bit different this year, but I still think that it can be one of our best yet. So today I wanna share with you my really simple system for keeping Christmas organized, how to stick with your budget so you don't feel remorse come January, and my favorite one-liner when it comes to opting out of gift exchanges or anything else you don't wanna participate in this year. All right, I was just listening back to this video and realizing my S's are kind of lispy. I had like a bunch of dental work done, which I'm so grateful for. It was a long time coming, but I used to have a retainer and I don't have it anymore, and so I'm having to learn how to re-speak. And so my S's are very lispy. But if you have any ideas or tips or like resources, I probably need to try and find like a YouTube video or something to retrain myself. I am all ears if you have any tips. So thank you for bearing with me, and you all are so kind and sweet. I know you won't make a big deal out of it, but I appreciate it. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom. We love sharing tips and tricks to help you simplify your house, but I thought, hey, let's simplify Christmas too and stay organized this Christmas season. One of my favorite tips from Mel Robbins is that she says, whenever you're feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, stop and do a brain dump. And I think that's so important. And so what I like to do every Christmas season is set up a notebook that I use just for this season, and I put everything in here. And so I want to show you this today. I want to talk just real quickly about how we can stay in your Christmas budget. Any size budget, we can make it work. And also my favorite phrase when it comes to opting out of gift exchanges or anything else that you don't want to do. And so let me show you my Christmas notebook real quick. I know there's lots of like fun printables out there. If that's your thing, go for it. They always overwhelmed me a little bit. There's too many pages to them. And so I just made my own. And so this was actually a notebook the girls had, and it's just from the dollar store. But I like this like smaller size, and then this one is especially neat because it has like little pockets in the front. That's handy. But what I like to do is put a calendar that has the whole holiday season. So it has Thanksgiving through New Year's Day, and I have it as a printable. So if you want to print it out down below, you can. You can write it in, draw it in, use your planner pages, but I like to have that there so I can see an overview of the whole Christmas season, especially knowing like where all the weekends fall. Like how many weekends do we have between Thanksgiving and Christmas? And I still put like events or appointments into my calendar on my phone, but again, this is just kind of a good bird's eye view of the whole holiday season. And then in the back, I like to tape in an envelope where I put all the receipts related to Christmas gifts. So any gift receipt, other receipt, in case I want to take something back or exchange it, that goes in here. And then from there, I just start using different pages for different lists. And so I make my gift lists in here, grocery lists. I like to right off the bat have a page dedicated to a grocery shopping list for each of the 4 weeks during Christmas, so I can plan out my groceries. Non-perishables I try to get towards the beginning of the season, but anything perishable, you know, you can only get it so far in advance. So I like to have a grocery shopping list for each of the 4 weeks where I can put things on. And then also my gift list, holiday baking list, any other task list that we do. I just like to keep it all in here, and it works really well. I take this with me whenever I go shopping, or if I'm doing online shopping, I have it next to me, and it just works out really well for me. And I also like to make a page for like meaningful activities. So what special things are we gonna do during this holiday season to spend time together as a family, to get together with people that I care about, to do an Advent devotion? I ordered like 6 different devotionals because I wanted to be able to recommend my best one to you. So I actually have a blog post down below with all the different devotionals I got and which ones I think are best for who, like family, individual. So you can find that down below, but it was kind of fun going through them, and I'm really excited. Like I really want to, for me this year, sit in front of the Christmas tree with a cup of coffee and read a devotional every day. And so I don't know if that will actually happen, but it just sounds really nice, and I'm really gonna try. So I'm sure to like schedule in and list out those things as well, because there's nothing worse than getting to Christmas Day and feeling like December was a blur and we never remembered the true reason for the season. Now, another thing that I really like to do in here is to keep track of my holiday budget. And the budget part is the most stressful part about Christmas, right? I mean, that's what it always has been for us. And so here's where I become unpopular sometimes, is that reining things back in so that Christmas isn't all about the gifts, and that we could try really hard to stay within our budget. So first thing, what would be a practical budget that you could pay cash for this year? And even if you're like, you know what, it might only be $100. Okay, let's talk about that. So take a page, write $100 at the top and list out everybody that you have to get gifts for this year, and do it in order. So most important first, like kids, you know, parents, whoever, down to mailman, teachers. Not that teachers are not important, but I have heard from you that a handwritten note is very nice too. You don't expect gifts because teachers are so generous. I do like to give gifts when possible, but we're talking about being realistic, and the teachers wouldn't want you to go in debt for their gift, right? Okay, so put everybody on here. So maybe you'll put teachers this year too. Oh God, they have it so rough. Okay, so you might put teachers more towards the top, and that's totally fine, okay? But start writing out an amount next to each person. And this is where it gets tough, right? You're like, $100, I'm 2 people down and I've spent it, right? But here's what I wanna remind you. Okay, so we've been talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and many of you said this really resonated with you when it comes to the reason behind simplifying your house. Because again, if we look at the hierarchy, once our base needs are met, clothing, shelter, food, we talked about how adding more stuff to that, it doesn't add a deeper sense of happiness or feeling good about our circumstances. It actually just makes it so we have more to manage and bogs us down in this main level and keeps us from working towards the top, which is love, happiness, self-fulfillment, self-esteem, helping others. And so let's look at this hierarchy in regards to gift giving. When we look at that, we see that gifts don't actually lead to happiness. What leads to happiness is self-esteem, which comes from contributing to the world, not from contributing gifts or buying gifts, but from contributing to the world. Ideas, helping others, being there for people, being there for your family, being a support system to other people, listening to them, validating them. That's what causes esteem and us to feel like we're contributing to the world. Unfortunately, gifts don't contribute. Again, they keep us bogged down in this level of stuff that we have to maintain. Now, there's a couple things. Okay, I'm gonna get in trouble. I know. Okay, just hear me out. 1 more minute. Okay, there are gifts that contribute to this, right? If we're learning new skills or languages or art projects or things, yes, there are gifts that can contribute to this. And yes, there are people whose love language is gifts. So when we look at that layer of relationships and love, there are people that feel loved through gifts. But here's the key with that. It is not the dollar amount on the gift. It is that they feel that you thought about them. That when they open the gift, they think, oh, this person knows me. Oh, they put thought into it. They put some time into it, some effort, some of their own talents into it. And so it does not have to be an expensive gift for you to fill that need of a gifts person. And so I know my gift love language is very low, and I often felt overlooked at Christmas time because my love languages are quality time and words of affirmation. And so, you know, it was like people are like, here's the gifts, and I'm saying like, well, I just want to spend time with you all. And even a card where you wrote out how you feel about me or how you appreciate me would mean more to me than the gifts. And so if you ever feel unfulfilled by the gifts at Christmas, it could just be because it's not one of your love languages. And that's what makes us all so complicated, is that we all view gifts differently, right? And we were raised different ways, and it's such a complex topic. But I think this year is the year to start new traditions and to scale some of this back, especially if you have been feeling slimed by the holiday season. Right? The shopping, the wrapping, just the craziness of it, the stress that we get through Christmas, and we feel slimed and we feel martyred and we feel yuck. And so let's not do that to ourselves this year. So here is my favorite line when it comes to reining Christmas back in, is to say, we're gonna take a break this year from gift exchanges, from extra holiday events. I think we're gonna have fewer holiday events because of the circumstances in the world anyway, so that makes that easier. But the office gift exchange, the adult gift exchange, we still participate in the kids gift exchange, like with cousins, that kind of stuff. But adult stuff, we have seriously reined that back in. And Tom and I are both, Tom's a gift person too, but we just both realized that it was getting too out of hand, and it just didn't feel like it was accomplishing our goals for Christmas, which was to spend time together with family and to remember the true reason for the season. And so I love this line of just saying, we're gonna take a break this year. It doesn't mean you're quitting it forever. Doesn't mean you might not participate again next year. It doesn't mean that the people doing it are bad. We don't have to say, you suck because you're all into consumerism and gift giving. No, we just say, you know what, you guys go ahead. Anybody that wants to participate, that's so great, but we're just gonna take a break this year. And so one of my I mean, one of the memories that stands out from Christmas the most to me was that, I mean, we grew up very modestly. My parents worked their butts off, but there still wasn't always a lot of extra. And I'll just remember, we must have been like a freshman or sophomore in high school. And my mom had, through the Community Action Center, found families that didn't have enough groceries to make a nice Christmas dinner. And so she had taken the list they gave, gone to the grocery store and packed up this bag of groceries to drop off at someone's house so that they could have a nice Christmas meal. And so she had packed it all up, and Diana and I were in the car with her to go deliver it. And it really stood out to me that she did not have a lot of extra, and that she was taking from the little bit of extra she had to buy groceries for someone else. That just really stood out to me. But then we drove up to the house, and she was supposed to just put it on the back step and leave it there. And she was walking it up to the house, and I realized that it was one of our classmates' house. And so to see my mom spending of the extra that she barely had, and then to know that one of our classmates didn't even have hardly enough money to have a nice Christmas dinner, it just really put things into perspective. And it also just felt so meaningful seeing my mom do that. And so again, as we look at this hierarchy, it's not the end all be all, but I do feel like the excess of gifts keeps us bogged down in this base level, and it keeps us from moving upward and being able to look around and see who the people are around us that need us this year, that need an extra phone call, that need some extra surprises in the mail, that just need someone to show them that they're thinking about them and caring about them. And so that has always stuck with me. There's a Jewish proverb that says, when there is excess, usually something is missing. And so for our family, I don't want us to hide behind the excess. I don't want us to get distracted by that. I want us to be able to focus on the true meaning of the season and what that means to our family. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. We are against an uphill battle of marketing and expectations and all of that. I know that, but I do think it's a fight worth picking this Christmas season. So again, going back to our holiday budget, then just to be able to say, you know what? Okay, how about my kids, right? Maybe we need to be honest with them and tell them that, you know what, Christmas is gonna look a little bit different this year. It's still important to us that you get a couple gifts that you're excited about, but it's not gonna be quite as extravagant as it has been in the past. But here's what we're gonna do instead. We're gonna spend a bunch of time together as a family. We're gonna play games, we're gonna read stories in front of the Christmas tree, we're gonna make graham cracker gingerbread houses, we're gonna make some holiday cards and deliver them to the retirement center, we're gonna bake together. There's so many things that you could do that are gonna make your kids feel loved and appreciated. And you might see that even though we assume it's all about the gifts for kids at Christmas because that's what marketing is telling us, you might find that your kids feel a similar emptiness after Christmas morning, after opening all the gifts that I used to feel, because the gifts aren't filling that need. Kids have so much stuff right now, and piling more stuff on them is not usually what most of them need. They need to feel loved and appreciated. They need to be noticed and seen, and to feel like we care about them and care enough to spend extra time with them and to affirm them and to say positive things about them and take an interest in the things that they're interested in. Okay, so if you're still watching, again, I know this is sticky, but I just think this is the year to do it and to have these conversations. Try and be the one to do it first. Try to send out the first text message or email. I do think that makes it easier, but yeah. I guess this could be where I ask you to subscribe if any of this resonates with you, and if not, I still think we can be friends. So even if we're not on the same page with gift giving, but all right, well, if you haven't done so already, I hope you subscribe so we can spend more time together, especially coming up in January. We are gonna hit decluttering hard. We'll go all in, so you'll wanna be subscribed for that. But I love you. I hope you have a really good day. Oh, and share any of your ideas for simplifying Christmas and keeping it organized down below. That is always so helpful. All right, I love you, and I will visit with you again soon.